understand what this man is saying, and he knows. And Bob Marley's music was liberation. Bob Marley was touring Eastern Europe and the whole of Europe. We talk about Sweden, London, England, singing against the system. In some cases, they didn't even let him sing because his music was uplifting music. And people can remember Bob Marley's work today because uplifting. Lucky Dube's work today, uplifting. Fela Kuti's job. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and welcome back once again to yet another episode, man. MisterJaay right here. If this is your first time coming through, they call me MisterJaay, aka call me boy, bong boy, yes. Yo boy, Bazinga, Mano, yes. Tasha, we in the building. Some of you guys will be like, man, what are all these things, man? These are the names that I've been given to MisterJaay. A whole lot of my African communities, man. So, thank you for tuning in. Disclaimer, this right here, this is a non-musical reaction, alright? I want us to talk about something real quick. But before we do that, I do beg of you to hit that subscribe button, you feel me? Think about being part of the family, man. The more we grow, the more it's gonna come to us, you feel me? Love you guys, man. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of days ago, a couple of hours ago actually, I posted something. I dropped a vlog about the whole Mr. Buju Banton interview and the whole situation where he talked about the fact that AfroBeat is actually not uplifting Africa and it's having a good traction, and a whole lot of people came through, man, a whole lot of comments, and bro, I just want to say this, man. This is MisterJaay doubling down on what he said, and I concur with that. But before I do get started with everything, I want you to understand this, right? Uplifting is totally different from partying, feel good. Uplifting is totally different from letting your guards down, enjoy shaking your ass, moving. Uplifting is none of these things. And do not misquote this man. I mean, that being said, let's get into it. So I've read a whole lot of your comments, and a whole lot of you have come out swinging. A whole lot of you have come out castigating MisterJaay. A whole lot of you have come out saying a whole lot of things, but you actually did forget to let that message simmer down, to let that message marinate in your head, in your spirit, before you comment. It's okay to be patriotic. It's okay to feel like, oh man, this man is attacking my country, especially to my Nigerian audience who came through. Some of you guys, regardless of what you said, man, you're still my brother, and I still love you for that. We are all Africans, you feel me? We are all sons and daughters of Africa. But let's cut through the BS. Let us forget this emotion thing. Let's be pragmatic with the way we look at this whole thing. You feel me? What did this man say? Simple. If you've not watched that interview, I'm going to add a link to the whole thing. But I want you to listen from the beginning to the 30th minute because it's 2 hours long. This man had a whole lot. This man is like an encyclopedia, man. He was given a whole lot of knowledge, his own personal stories and things like that, with labels and this and that, growing up into. But I want you to listen to the first 30 minutes. And I think it's in between those 30 minutes where he mentions this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of reference of this uplifting, I want us to look at two artists he mentioned. Fela Kuti, Lucky Dube. Fela Kuti once again, Lucky Dube. The great Fela Kuti and Lucky Dube. Ladies and gentlemen, these are artists from Nigeria and South Africa. And the great Fela Kuti is known to be the founder of what we enjoy today as AfroBeat. Don't forget, we have AfroBeat and then we have AfroBeat. So these two names, I want us to look at these two names in what I'm going to say, and this is my clap back to everything everybody is saying in the comment section. A whole lot of you say, MisterJaay, you hate Nigeria, or this and that, or this man has been to prison, he's this and what has going to prison got to do with anything? Nelson Mandela went to prison. He came out. Going to prison doesn't mean you are dumb. Going to prison doesn't mean you cannot speak the truth. And going to prison has nothing to do with what this man said. Now, I know that some of my Nigerian brothers and sisters, some of you just who came on I still love you, man. This is not, look, I'm at that level in life where we can agree to disagree and we'll still be brothers. You feel me? When we look at AfroBeat today, when we look at AfroBeat music today, it's a beautiful genre of music. It's a beautiful wave that is coming out of Africa, and it is a beautiful tool which has uplifted a whole lot of people out of poverty. But when we look at AfroBeat today, I'm talking about today, we do not see a whole lot of uplifting. I don't know about you, but if I want to be uplifted, I'm not going to listen to AfroBeat. I'm not going to go to any Davido, Burna, but no. If I want to be uplifted, I will go to Bob Marley. I will listen to Lucky Dube. I don't know about you, but I think people of my age group and people with some rationality up here will understand that uplifting has nothing to do with partying. You feel me? Now, let me go back to that interview real quick. There is a part in that interview where he was asked by Nore, did AfroBeat come out from reggae music? And this man frankly and selflessly said, all music comes from Africa. All music comes from Africa. And if you watch the first vlog I dropped, this man talked about he visited Africa and he was educating people about reggae. Reggae music has, as Mr. Buju said once again, reggae music is an African music. The drums and everything. The only thing is we speak with our own language, the patois. But being a Rastafarian, the belief in that religion, the belief in that belief system is you should be a brother's keeper. You should worry about the next person. And being from a black race, have you noticed that all of the greatest Rastafarian who went mainstream with their music careers, they always sang about Africa? I'm talking about the Jamaicans. When Bob Marley was singing Africa Unite, cause we rolling right out of Babylon, he wasn't trying to say Jamaica Unite because he understood that the black person comes from that continent. And Bob Marley, let me just say this, 99% of Bob Marley's work was to uplift the black race around the world, period. You can argue all you want. Yes, when I said 99, it means that the remaining percent, it had some love songs in it. That like Three Little Birds. He had some love songs in his collection, in his catalog. But 99% of Bob Marley's work was to uplift the black race. Now let's come back to Africa. When you look at Fela Kuti's work, 99% of Fela Kuti's work was to kick against the discrimination, the police brutality, imperialism that was occurring in Nigeria at that period. And the replica of all of these things was in the military regime that was in place. Fela Kuti's work saw him going in and out of jail, in and out of problems with the regime, in and out of good standing and bad standing with the powers that be in that country. Fela Kuti's music is remembered today because of this fact that this man was an activist. He might have had his unorthodox way to go about it, but Fela Kuti's music is uplifting, or was uplifting, and it is still uplifting till today. This is the reason why Bob Marley and music from these folks like Bob Marley, Fela Kuti, Lucky Dube, Burning Spear, Peter Tosh, they are transcending generations. If you put on a Bob Marley song today, it's gonna move your spirit. If you put on a Portable song today, it's not gonna move your spirit to do nothing. Neither will a Davido song move your spirit to do anything. This is not to say that maybe in somewhere in their songs they have mentioned against the establishment, the powers that be, but they have not collectively bonded to uplift the African youth, especially the youth in Nigeria. Let me say this, man. When we talk about AfroBeat, don't get it twisted, because the power, the hub of AfroBeat today is in Nigeria. Period. If you can make it in Nigeria as an AfroBeat or even as an artist, you have made it across Africa. This is the take-home story. Now, that being said, music that uplifts is music that liberates a people. Yes, music that uplifts is music that liberates a people. If you do not do music that is liberating, you are not uplifting nobody. There is no way you will sit and beat your chest and say, look, my music is uplifting now, because people are dancing to your song in the cars for parties and in the cars and this and that, and it doesn't mean that it is uplifting. Do not take MisterJaay's word or MisterJaay's vlog for that. I want you to take a demographic look at what is happening today with the jackpot syndrome. If artists were uplifting the youthful generation in Africa, a whole lot of jackpot will stop, because people will stay back and fight. Yes, music from these, man, look, you can even go to the Fela shrine. You can get educated and understand. And look at what all of Fela's kids are singing about. They are singing about what? Going against the system. This might be like, okay, the powers that be today might have turned this type of music and they give it all type of names. But remember that imperialism and the mechanism of colonialism is to put these type of people in the black books. Bob Marley was not welcomed when he did his songs. You feel me? Fela Kuti was not welcome. Lucky Dube was not welcome, even right up to Lucky Dube's demise. They hated this man. You had people around, intelligence agencies around the world that were scared of Bob Marley. The CIA, we know about it. The FBI, we know about these things. So when this man is talking about music that uplifts, remember this man is a Rastafari and he's coming under the reggae music genre. Some of you guys just get a little bit touchy because you think that this is not an insult. This is the brutal truth. You feel me? Don't get me wrong. I love AfroBeat. I love the Burna boy, the Yemi Alades. I love the Davido. I love the flavor. I love all of that. It's feel-good music and party music. These guys are singing about their personal situation, their personal struggle. But they have never, ever sung about standing up to the powers that be. Pay attention. Uplifting, liberating music is totally different from party, feel-good music. So when you come and you want to drop a comment and try to think like MisterJaay is taking sides, I am not taking sides. I am being pragmatic, because the rate at which people are leaving, going out of these African countries today to go to Europe, some die in the Mediterranean. If we had a collective group of young Afrobeat artists that were singing to these injustices, this police brutality, this discrimination, a whole lot of these things will come to an end. A whole lot of the things that Bob Marley sang about, they came to an end. Equality became, even though it's not 100% certain, but a whole lot of the things these people sang about came to an end. Even Fela Kuti, a whole lot of the things that Fela Kuti sang about the military, heck, the military regime went off. It's been a couple of years that Nigeria has not had military regimes. So you can say that Fela Kuti uplifted and he brought out the evilness of that status quo. So when you come and you want to be offended by what Mr. Buju said and what I am saying based on what he said, bro, I want you to think A music that uplifts the people is music that liberates the people. And yes, what he is saying, it is fuckery because that is not what reggae believes and Rastafarian belief is all about. If you want to come into an argument and try to talk about something else, with MisterJaay, you already lost. For the person who came out of, ever since this man came out of prison, he's been talking nonsense. Prison has nothing to do with everything. You feel me? So think pragmatically. You need to think. You feel me? All these things that is happening. Look at what is happening. Oh, he mentioned in that interview. People like the youth in Kenya there's been a revolution in Kenya. The youths were tired. Yes. A whole lot of things happening in South Sudan, a whole lot of things happening in Southern Cameroon, a whole lot of things happening in Burkina Faso, the Republic of Niger, a neighboring country to Nigeria, a whole lot of things happening in Marley, a whole lot of changes happening in Senegal today. Look at these things happening in Africa, but then you think, I'm not saying that they are supposed to sing to that. Don't misquote MisterJaay. Every AfroBeat artist, you have your right to sing about whatever you want, your love, your girl club, whatever. That is your business. But we are talking about music that is uplifting. We are not talking about nonsense. If you want to think about that shallow-minded focus, be good. That's it. But we are going to keep dancing to these things till thy kingdom come, and nothing is going to change. But what Mr. Mark Anthony is saying is this. Music is a tool that if you use it properly, you can bring about changes. A whole lot of musicians go back in history, they have brought out changes in their society using music. Why can't we do that today? But I will tell you why, because some of these politicians, the political elite in Africa, when they see an artist coming in, they pull the artist to their side so that the artist cannot sing against them, which is what is happening. And just to end this vlog, no artist nowadays, no AfroBeat artist is willing to go to jail for standing for the people. It's crazy. Show me one AfroBeat artist today that has stood up against the establishment with his music, has dropped an album calling for a drastic change of things, and he has been in and out of prison. Show me one of them. I rest my case, and I will remind you before we end this thing that Jamaica, the first group of artists that went commercial globally with music as a black people, they are the Jamaicans. Yes, they are the Jamaicans. So understand what this man is saying, and he knows. And Bob Marley's music was liberation. Bob Marley was touring Eastern Europe and the whole of Europe. We talk about Sweden, London, England, singing against the system. In some cases, they didn't even let him sing because his music was uplifting music. And people can remember Bob Marley's work today because uplifting. Lucky Dube's work today, uplifting. Fela Kuti's job. That's the end of it, man. I don't want to talk so much, but please, before you come and you're trying to give your comment, understand. Uplifting. We are not talking about partying, feel good, enjoying yourself, personal struggle. Yeah, everybody has personal struggle, but it takes an activist to stand up and put this collective struggle of the people and sing about it. That is it. Peace.